The Finance Minister of Uttarakhand, Mr. Premchand Agrawal, has unveiled a Rs 101,175.33 crore budget for the financial year 2025-26, aiming to strengthen infrastructure while ensuring economic stability. The budget is based on the GYAN model, focusing on Garib, poor, Yuva, youth, Andada, farmers, and Nari, women. Expenditure in 2025-26. Revenue expenditure for 2025-26 is proposed to be 59,955 rupees crore, an increase of 6% over the revised estimate of 2024-25. This includes expenditure on committed items such as salaries, pensions, and interest payments, and other items such as grants and subsidies. In 2025-26, Uttarakhand is estimated to spend 37,678 rupees crore on committed expenditure, which is 60% of its estimated revenue receipts. This comprises spending on salaries, 33% of revenue receipts, pensions, 16%, and interest payments, 11%. In 2023-24, 58% of Uttarakhand's revenue receipts was spent on committed expenditure. Expenditure, revenue expenditure, capital outlay, loans given by the state. Committed expenditure, salaries, pension, interest payment. Capital outlay for 2025-26 is proposed to be 14,763 rupees crore, an increase of 25% from the revised estimate of 2024-25. Capital outlay indicates the expenditure towards creation of assets. Key sectors that have witnessed an uptick in capital outlay include water supply and sanitation, 363% increase, welfare of SC, ST, OBC, and minorities, 53% increase, and energy, 51% increase. State governments provide loans to various institutions and organizations. In 2025-26, Uttarakhand has budgeted to provide loans worth 452 rupees crore, 29% lower as compared to the revised estimate of 2024-25. The CAG, 2024, observed that repayment of loans was poor. Between 2018-19 and 2022-23, 788 rupees crore was extended to various sectors, and 103 rupees crore was recovered. Sector-wise expenditure, education, sports, arts and culture, agriculture and allied activities, health and family welfare, social welfare and nutrition, rural development, water supply and sanitation. Receipts in 2025-26. Total revenue receipts for 2025-26 are estimated to be 62,541 rupees crore, an increase of 6% over the revised estimate of 2024-25. Of this, 28,410 rupees crore, 45%, will be raised by the state through its own resources, and 34,130 rupees crore, 55%, will come from the center. Resources from the center will be in the form of the state's share in central taxes, 25% of revenue receipts, and grants, 29% of revenue receipts. States receive certain grants from the center based on the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission, FC. These include revenue deficit grants, grants for local bodies, grants for disaster response funds, and health sector grants. In 2025-26, Uttarakhand is estimated to receive 4,764 rupees crore as FC grants. Devolution. In 2025-26, the state's share in central taxes is estimated at 15,903 rupees crore, an increase of 11% over the revised estimate of 2024-25. Grants from the center in 2025-26 are estimated at 18,227 rupees crore, a marginal increase of 0.5% over the revised estimates for 2024-25. State's own tax revenue. Uttarakhand's total own tax revenue is estimated to be 24,015 rupees crore in 2025-26, an increase of 8% over the revised estimate of 2024-25. Own tax revenue as a percentage of GSDP is estimated at 5.6% in 2025-26, lower than the revised estimates for 2024-25, 5.9%. As per the actual figures for 2023-24, own tax revenue as a percentage of GSDP was 5.8%. State government's receipts, states' own tax, states' own non-tax share in central taxes, grants and aid from center. In 2025 to 26, state GST is estimated to be the largest source of own tax revenue, 47% share. State GST revenue is estimated to increase by 10% over the revised estimates of 2024 to 25. State excise revenue is estimated to be 12% higher in 2025 to 26 over the revised estimate of 2024 to 25. Revenue from taxes on vehicles in 2025 to 26 is expected to be 11% higher than the revised estimate for 2024 to 25. In the revised stage of 2024 to 25, revenue from this source is expected to come down by 6%. Land revenue in 2024 to 25 is expected to reduce by 42% in the revised stage as compared to the budget stage. In 2025 to 26, land revenue is expected to increase by 5% over the revised estimate of 2024 to 25. States' own tax revenue, state GST, state excise, stamps duty and registration fees, sales tax/VAT, taxes on vehicles. Deficits, debt, and FRBM targets for 2025 to 26. A revenue deficit implies that the government needs to borrow to finance those expenses which do not increase its assets or reduce its liabilities. The budget estimates a revenue surplus of 2,586 rupees crore, or 0.6% of the GSDP, in 2025 to 26. Fiscal deficit, it is the excess of total expenditure over total receipts. This gap is filled by borrowings by the government and leads to an increase in total liabilities. In 2025 to 26, the fiscal deficit is estimated to be 2.9% of GSDP. For 2025 to 26, the central government has permitted a fiscal deficit of up to 3% of GSDP to states. Additional borrowing space up to 0.5% of GSDP will also be available for undertaking certain power sector reforms. As per the revised estimates, in 2024 to 25, the fiscal deficit of the state is expected to be 2.5% of GSDP. This is higher than the budget estimate of 2.4% of GSDP. Outstanding debt. Outstanding debt is the accumulation of total borrowings at the end of a financial year. At the end of 2025 to 26, the outstanding debt is estimated to be 25% of GSDP, higher than the budget estimate for 2024 to 25, 24% of GSDP. Expenditure on key sectors. Education. Uttarakhand has allocated 16.7% of its expenditure on education in 2025 to 26. This is higher than the average allocation for education by states in 2024 to 25, 15%. Health. Uttarakhand has allocated 6.4% of its expenditure on health in 2025 to 26. This is higher than the average allocation for health by states in 2024 to 25, 6.2%. Rural development. Uttarakhand has allocated 5.8% of its expenditure on rural development in 2025 to 26. This is higher than the average allocation for rural development by states in 2024 to 25, 5.1%. Water supply and sanitation. Uttarakhand has allocated 4.2% of its expenditure on water supply and sanitation in 2025 to 26. This is higher than the average allocation for water supply and sanitation by states in 2024 to 25, 2.5%. Roads and bridges. Uttarakhand has allocated 3% of its expenditure on roads and bridges in 2025 to 26. This is lower than the average allocation for roads and bridges by states in 2024 to 25, 4.3%. Energy. Uttarakhand has allocated 1.9% of its expenditure on energy in 2025 to 26. This is lower than the average allocation for energy by states in 2024 to 25, 5%.